and a special welcome to those of you who are only watching because you pushed the wrong button on your remote control. Let me very quickly assure you, you won't be seeing our usual kind of clips tonight because, as you've probably gathered from that eloquent opening sequence, what we've also been filing away over the years are various other outtake oddities, ranging from the downright dotty, which we'll come to later, to those which constitute our first compilation. Some examples of the disgraceful behind-the-scenes misbehavior we've stored away in a file labeled Pranks and Send-Ups.
Hello.
Oh, Ashley, I nearly had a heart attack. I thought it was a pervert or something.
Well, thanks very much. I was only trying to be affectionate.
Well, I've dropped all the peppercorns now.
Well, don't worry, I'll get them in a minute. Here, look. Got your present.
A present? Oh.
Just a little something, you know. And another little something as well.
Oh, Ashley from the florist. Oh, thank you. What a lovely...
Witnesses say this is where the flying saucer landed. They also say that the aliens had slits for eyes and spoke English in a monotone.
So far, there is no evidence that any of the aliens stayed on the Earth.
Good evening. In the news tonight, the Canadian Police Force that patrols 4 communities north of Bathurst, New Brunswick tonight has agreed to return to work while renewed talks continue. They have been off the job since Saturday night. In other developments, a news anchor broad has had a sex change, but unfortunately the only part that changed was her voice.
Okay, you're framing it so there's no trees, eh?
Yeah, there's no trees.
Okay. Looks like the east. Okay, here we go. How much money hunters will see from the project depends on the demand for country food. But one thing's for sure, hunters will see a lot more than they have in the past. That's tonight's PM Magazine. Good night, Peggy.
Good night, Mario.
See you tomorrow.
And the producers of this show tipped off Burt Reynolds that the host would be ad-libbing a reference to Burt's Cherokee ancestry.
Burt, earlier in the week you told us that you were half Indian. Would you please spell reservation? I don't think that's funny, Tom. I don't either. I mean, are you calling me a name or something? No, sir. Because if you are, I'm going to take your head off and spit it. Here we go. Oh, lovable bird.
Oh, they're suave, those American game show hosts. But for some other examples of stress management, let's move to something which is really in the area of classified information. A file we headed Trade Secrets because it reveals certain TV stratagems that you outsiders aren't really supposed to know about.
Today, the Farmers' Newsreel is launching a novel new competition. We shall be visiting a number of major events around the UK by balloon and filming from this wonderful vantage position so that we can see.
One of the most jealously guarded trade secrets is the trick newsreaders use for coping with hot weather.
Boy, things are really slowing down. We're in the doldrums. But I guess if you're going to get stuck in the rut, this is the kind of weather to get stuck in the rut with.
Well, I don't know. That sounds too good about the Saturday rain. We'll find more about that.
a private moment from prisoner cell block H, claimed by some to be the finest of Australian soap operas. It was a bit like being elected best dressed man in Red China. Well, let's go now to the file we've labelled TV Celebrations, which may be a slim one, but it does contain one fascinating encounter. Viewers of American cable TV can discuss their sexual problems on camera with a one-man advice bureau by the name of Dr. Brockelmans. And he's proved so popular, for the last program in his first series, the producers decided to present him with a really interesting patient.
You're how old, Susie?
23.
And Jim is how old?
26.
And the two of you have been married for how long?
A year.
How long did you know each other?
About 6 months before that.
Tell me what the problem is in the marriage.
My husband seems to think that I'm an exhibitionist. And,
Exhibitionist, okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, he thinks I flaunt myself. And I guess he's kind of jealous.
Your body.
My body. Now, he thinks I have a nice body, and he's just uncomfortable with me wearing things that reveal my body to other men. And I think maybe he's a little insecure.
Does he have any cause? Let's start with this. Does he have any cause to be jealous?
Not in my estimation. I think I treat him pretty well. I think he knows that I'm crazy about him, and that I would never go out on him or anything.
Your relationship is a good one?
Mm-hmm.
You have a good sexual relationship?
Very good.
And you're compatible in most ways?
Yeah, I would say that's our only problem. His insecurity.
Uh-huh. Are you aware of any times when you might be actually exhibiting yourself, or when you might be inclined to do that, or feel like doing that?
I don't think so. Can't really think of any time. Not really.
Are you aware that you've been pulling up your dress?
No.
Were you not aware of that?
No.
Are you aware of the fact you're unbuttoning your blouse? Why don't you button it? No, not unbutton it. Button it.
Congratulations on your first successful season.
Well, it's more than they ever gave Kilroy Silk. Man was born to suffer. It says so in the job description. But there's a certain amount of argument as to whether practical jokes should be part of the workload. I find they do occasionally yield what weathermen might call troughs of low pleasure, which is why we've hiked a further 3 from our pranks and send-ups file. Slightly more elaborate, these, particularly the first, which took place at one of those rather toe-curling tribute dinners that American show businesses pray to. In this case, to honor Monty Hall, a giant of the American game show profession. We join them as Danny Thomas, the chairman, explains that the award will be presented by a leading network executive.
Television's top network vice president has taken time out from his very busy schedule to acknowledge your incredible contributions to the entire industry. Monty, here he is presenting you with a special award, is Mr. Bill Simeon.
Get a show of my own.
This bit wasn't planned, an appearance by the veteran nightclub comic Buddy Hackett.
Let me tell you something. Could I have your attention, sir? If you come up to Sahara, I could fix you up with a broad and all like that. And, give you your own room for the weekend. But at least come and watch me. Give me a break so I can get a chance. I've been in the business 38 years. I can't get a break. You understand what's going on?
You're depressing the hell out of him.
I mean, here's a guy sitting up high and mighty up there in his own office, and he don't give a guy a break. I'm sitting here. I finally get to see him. I go to his office all day long. I can't get in. I figure this is the time, right?
You can tell this bride works in TV not only by the professional multi-camera wedding video, but also by the way she's decided to liven up the ceremony. She hasn't told any of the guests, not the groom's parents, not even her own nearest and dearest. The only people who are in on the scheme are her father and the minister. No one else knows that any moment now, this bride is going to be replaced.
Please greet the bride. And who giveth Marianne Johnson in marriage? Her mother and I do. Would you please step forward and present the bride?
My name is Marianne Johnson. My name is Raymond Jones.
And this is Stitch Up the Floor manager time. It's 60 seconds before airtime, and he's being told the two newsreaders have got locked in the loo.
They're locked in the bloody toilet. What are they doing in the toilet together? What a catastrophe. Why, Jan and Roger are locked in the bloody lavatory. What are we going to do?
Now it's got to only 30 seconds before air, and he's told there's no help anywhere.
Where's Clark? He's not in there as well. Look, Doc, Q 10 seconds. But don't look at me, I'm not going to read the news. Good evening, this is... See, I'm not Roger Howe. Roger Howe is indisposed. National Transport spokesman Terry Smith has accused the government of missing the point on the doomed ANL Townsville Trader shipping service. Mr. Smith says the government's claim that it is being asked to subsidise the wrong ship, the Townsville Trader, is misguided. Jody Robb has the story.
Seriously befuddled floor manager off to get his nerve ends restrung. Well, if you're wondering why I've moved from that design award kitchen stool to sit here, just take a look at this commercial.
I'm Rula Lenska. As always, I want to look my best. So I'm using new Alberto VO5 hairspray with Mineral 80. It's improved to hold better than ever.
Well, there's no need to see any more of that because you know it well. What you may not know about the commercial is that it was shown a tremendous number of times all over America. And as a result, well, no, let the lady herself tell you, Miss Rula Lenska. Right, now, that really made you a household name in America?
Only as far as commercials go.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So actually, it was all that they knew you by was that commercial?
Well, not that one. There were 15 of them.
So what happened with your name?
Well, the whole series of commercials became a cult. I believe Johnny Carson once said on his show, "Who the hell is Rula Lenska?" Since I was announced as an international star and they'd never seen me doing anything else but the commercials.
But the bloke who really took it up was a comic called...
Steve Allen.
Steve Allen, yeah.
And I was informed that he did a huge variety show once a year, and would I like to come out in secret and play a prank on him?
Because he was going to do an impression of you in that commercial.
A pretty good impression, I believe. As well.
Look, let's have a look. He didn't know you were there. Here he is with his impression of Rula Lenska.
Rula Shiksa. Great international star, but it's not definite. Perhaps you've seen one of my many films, but I doubt it. You know the importance of good grooming and chic hairstyling, and that's why I use the ozone. It isn't very good to the ozone, but it's pretty good to my V. Unfortunately, the ozone is murder on the lung. That's why I talk like this, like a man.
Minutes, Miss Shiksa.
To do what? Oh, yes, of course. Excuse me, I have to show some dear friends around London. Ta-ta.
Excuse me.
You looked as if you'd never seen it before.
I haven't ever seen
really?
it before, no.
I tell you what we've all been wondering, perhaps, what the hell was that swimming pool doing there?
I have no idea. It was one of those multi-purpose stages, and I presume that they'd synchronized swimming or something once they'd dragged poor old Steve Allen out of the water.
Oh, they did drag him out?
Yes, but he was in severe problems. They had to send 2 divers in.
Well, he did survive, because if you stay with us, Rula, there's another fragrant moment with Steve Allen in part 2, but let's go into the break with a few excerpts from the file labelled edit point humour. Now, edit point, as Rula knows well, is the technical term for the point at which the director intends a take to finish. But actors being actors, if they happen to notice the camera's still rolling...
I have to follow him there. He still needs me. He needs my help.
You're not going anywhere, lady. You're going with me. Come on.
What are you doing? You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything
I'm
wrong.
not arresting you. I'm just putting you in protective custody. Cruz's orders.
No!
It's for your own good.
No! Cruz! No!
Why this elaborate and bizarre charade, Gisborne? Why? Gisborne? You're wearing a Helena Rubinstein headband.
God love you, Petty Queen. Where's Frank? Frank! Frank, just quickly get off that train at once! Frank! Penny!
It's moments like these you need meetings.
Dora! Dora!
Hello, June. Yeah, at the Cardoma.
That settles it. I will do the 3rd series.
Britain's egg industry is seriously facing decline. A spokesman for the Egg Association said today,
For a number of farmers here it's being
Just go back to your right a touch. Just go back a bit. Up on that little meal.
Right?
Yeah. Up on right on top of it. That's it.
For a number of farmers, for a number of farmers, yes.
Look at your feet.
"This is what Mike's in the shot. Bert, move to your right."
And both those last two came from a file whose label says production crew brackets examples of being dropped in it by the. And while I yield to no one in my admiration for television technicians, before showing any further demonstrations of their sense of humour, let me warn viewers that the portion of the programme that follows may not be suitable for persons of a non-sadistic frame of mind.
Well, according to the Brisbane City Council, the Toowong Library was supposed to be open until 12 noon. Well, now it's 11:30 and...
A little closer to the prop. A little closer to the prop. Okay, a little closer to the prop. Okay. That's about right. Perfect.
In North Platte right now, what's happening? Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't. Where in the world did they get that picture? That's Stephen. I was a very young person.
So thank you. Enjoy the show.
Before you leave, Jamie.
Yes.
Lolita has been dying to meet you.
Wow.
She's been asking me when she could meet you, and she'd love to come over here and give you a handshake, so if that would be all right.
A handshake?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay.
It's going to come right up?
She'll just
Gonna
come
give me
right
a
up,
hand.
stick your hand out,
All right.
and here she comes.
Hey, listen, you've got to rescue me. I'm sinking. Oh, don't worry. It's only 10 feet deep. I am sinking. Every second I am going deeper. Bill, put the camera down for God's sake. Come on, Alan, listen. Listen, hey, so you're going to have a dead reporter on your hands very soon. Goodbye, Bob.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
It's enough, guys.
I'm told he recovered very well from that experience, and the perforations are now hardly visible. Well, moving to the file we labelled "This Was For Real," in other words, a non-send-up moment, here's one that happened during the live transmission of a certain highly regarded American religious program. Hadn't been on the air long when, from the back of the studio...
And you can go to church on Sunday in one of these state-approved churches with a state-approved pastor, and they're very hungry for God's Word.
Excuse me, Mr. Hazen, Billy Hazen?
Yeah, I'm right here, I think.
I'm sorry, we have a summons for your arrest. You have to go with us now.
Sir, I am a police officer. I
I warn you that anything you say will be used in a court of law against you, that you have an absolute right to remain silent, that you have the right to advice of a lawyer before, the presence of a lawyer here with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you free before any questioning if you desire. You understand this, sir?
I think so.
Okay, you're going to have to...
If you should hold that.
Yeah.
You say I put the...
Someone hold the mic for him, please.
Can I put this up to you while you're talking to him?
It's up to you, ma'am.
You got me a little shook up here. This is a live program, you know.
Oh, well. He's doing that job, I'm sorry.
Sir, could you please stand up?
We're going to have to take him with us now. He can arrange for bail, I'm sure, can't he, Bruce?
I'm sure you can get by now.
What is this about?
Sir, you've been charged with a charge for gross neglect and desertion. That's the charges, sir. Could you please have your handcuffs behind you, please?
By my staff for gross neglect and I think I'm feeling better. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Go with us.
You taking him away?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait a minute. During the live show? You gotta wait until this is over. You can't just take him away while we're doing a show.
Sorry, ma'am. He's under arrest.
Bye, Billy. I love you. I'll be down as soon as we're done. Maybe we can find out a little more about this. You're watching Denny Hazen being escorted through the television station hallways and lobby by 2 policemen. I believe they were from the Canton Police Department. I'm so shook, I really don't know. Is it Canton? Okay, Dr. Vincent. We'll find out about Denny, but Dr. Vincent, I guess it's just you and me now. Just keep him in your prayers, people. On live TV, I can't believe this.
Could never happen on Highway. Truth there that real life is not only stranger than fiction, can also be more embarrassing. Well, on to that second Steve Allen sequence we promised, but this time we find him on the dishing out end because he hosted the talk show on which that consummate drunk impersonator, Foster Brooks, you must have seen him, he made his first ever national television appearance. Now, after making sure that none of the other guests had ever seen or even heard about Brooks, Steve introduced him as a former top executive at NBC. And something to keep an eye on in what followed after that is the lady in the day-glow pink dress and her valiant struggles to appear unconcerned.
Here's Mr. Foster.
I'd almost forgotten. I'm telling you, this is really great, Brown. I think this comes as just as much of a surprise to me, Steve, as it does to Ralph. I thought this was tomorrow night.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess backstage in the green room a little longer than we had anticipated. Now, you were Mr. Foster, as we've already explained, one of the influential executives in the early days of television. What are some of your recollections before we get into the story about, particularly about...
I go way back, Steve. And back in the, back in the days when I first started, there wasn't any entertainment on television. There was just, they just had the news report, the weather forecast, and Ed Sullivan.
You'll forgive our audience, Mr. Foster, because they were chuckling at something that Steve Lawrence was doing. I know that you go back there. Well, what were some of your own major contributions, if I could so characterize them, to the early days?
Well, I had made up the original Roddy McDowell Spectacular. You remember that old show called that old show called Take It or Leave It? Well, I I'd almost forgotten the chap. I originated the British version of that show.
Which was what?
Take it or pip off.
I see.
And I was also in charge. I had something to do with the idea of cutting the movies so to fit the commercials.
Oh, really?
As you so well may know, if you've ever seen that great epic, The Three Commandments.
Only thing is, have you ever met any Englishmen who say pip off? Maybe it's an expression I've just misheard all these years. Anyway, because television people are always striving so hard to be good-humoured and chummy, you hardly ever see anyone on the box looking peeved or ratty or even just plain exasperated. Fortunately, though, it does happen, which is why one of our files is entitled Stars of Rage and Scream. Herewith a selection.
They didn't know the difference between Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia.
Hey, wait a minute. Can I start the interview going?
Nicaragua. They didn't know where Guatemala was.
Hey, wait a minute.
Charlatan like this, they listened to it, and they cheered, and they went on like that. Now, remember that an old Marine told you, I'm telling these young people.
Show, and if you don't knock it up, I'm throwing you out personally. Have you hear that, Marine buddy?
Well, we've been here for 5 days, and nothing of any importance has happened at all. The Kremlin admit that Mr. Callahan has not had talks with anybody here, and Mr. Callahan's own staff are not quite sure where he is. The whole thing seems to be a total waste of time and money. David Rose, News at 10, somewhere very expensive.
Right, you truck, Dick. Where'd you get it?
Oh, I drove a bargain, mate. A real tough one. It made around a Toyota.
Is that right?
Yeah?
Can you give us a drive, mate?
No.
No, just give us a drive. I just want to see what it's like.
No, look, it's mine. I just don't want to give anyone a
No,
drive.
no. Oh, I just want to see what it's like. That's all. Just give us a drive. Give us a drive. I'll drop it, so.
We're going to do a salad with carrot, orange and tomatoes.
And then we're going to do individual... I don't know where you're getting from. What about the scarlet pies?
Oh, shut up.
Hudson and Halls in a scene from their latest tantrum. Well, we're now due to pip off into the break, but there is time for just one more exhibition of umbrage, so bearing in mind that this one took place on April the 1st, take a look at what happened when a game show contestant accused her opponent of sneaking a peep at the answers.
You looked back at your card. Let him look at your card.
I knew the answer. This has never happened before in the show. You all saw this? Lisa, maybe our producer would like to come up here and you'd like to talk together.
I'm looking at the card.
Yeah.
No, wait just a minute. I'm leaning back like this and looking at the card.
Check, please.
I knew it right here.
evening. In Vietnam, the Communist offensive has continued with attacks on 3 sides of Saigon. Fighting has continued within the defense's perimeter around the capital, Phnom Penh. Follow that.
Wait to see this grandchild.
Pamela! Daddy, how did she find out?
I don't know. Jeffrey probably told her.
He promised me!
Baby, what's wrong?
Everything is wrong. How can he do that?
Chin. Like that. Good. Are you so... Okay, chin down. Good. Okay. That's why it's on there, so you can grab it. Stay at it, yeah. Okay. You're making me laugh. I can't hold still. Yeah, try it a minute. Get up in the middle and stay there. Just like that. Can you hold that? Okay. I'm shooting fast. Okay. Let's get it kneeling, okay? Kneeling, just like this. Okay, good. With your nails out like that. Hold on to him. Maybe he'll help keep you on there. Can you hold still for a minute?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. No, stay there. Don't move. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Don't move. It's good. Just like that. Beautiful. Just like that. Bend forward the waist a little more. Good. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll call it a wrap, and I think maybe we shouldn't oil you down next time.
From the file marked oily girls on slippery cars. My garage reckon he should have used Velcro. Well, no one had a better claim to be included in what we call our heartbreak file than a young singer named Norma Donaldson on her first real TV break, singing on a live peak time chat show. They told her she'd be doing her number on a stool they'd set in front of some curtains. Now, Norma, for some reason, assumed the camera was hidden behind those curtains. So that's what she sat herself facing. And it was only when she finished the song and heard the audience applause coming from behind her that she realized, well, see it and weep.
Stronger hands. A lighter touch. Did I overstate my pleasure? Did I stress the my heart forgot to say. Would I think of one or two if he came into my life today? Was his world free? Would I say he walked into my life?
It's a shame, but I'm happy to tell you that in the end things did work out okay for Norma. She got accepted for an accountancy course. While the material for our pranks and send-ups file goes all the way back to the days when members of the production crew used to grease Tarzan's vine. A much harder group to track down have been victims who fought back, evened up the score.
The day it started off rather badly anyway. Bob Richardson, our news director, came up grumpily, said to me, "There will be no April Fool's jokes today." And what a grouch. Well, I am not going to work under that kind of suppression and coercion. So as far as I'm concerned, if you want to know what the weather's going to be, take a look out the window.
What do you think of your shop steward's call for a day of action in support of return to free collective bargaining?
What do you think, Harvey?
Hang on. Well, I don't know, really. You know, you blokes, you keep coming around to the... I don't want that. I don't want to be on that bloody thing. You're a bloody pest, you lot, aren't you? Why do you lay off this bloody place for a change? Hey? What do you bloody people ever do for the good of this country? Any silly bugger can do what you do, so you got to get in a place like that and have a go once in a while.
Treated women as sex objects put on this planet for your personal pleasure.
Would you give me a chance to...
You're in a doghouse, Fido.
Right.
Here. Have a green bottle.
This Highgate isn't the one in London, it's a suburb of Adelaide. But it's the advert's last sentence that brought out a local TV reporter's crusading instincts.
I'd just like to ask you a few questions about the house you've got for sale.
Well, I'd rather not answer it.
Why not?
Because I don't want to. I'm not going to spell my business to anybody over the air. No.
Well, I'm not interested in how much you want for the house. I'm just interested in why you don't want any Asians to buy it, to move in.
Well, because the simple reason they're too lazy.
Why don't you want Asians moving into your house?
Because I don't like the Asians, that's all there is.
You don't want them in your place?
They're just a mob of crooks, that's all they are.
Don't you know that there's a law against what you're doing?
Well, no one has told me that, and I mean to say even the Asians...
You think it's wrong?
Even the Asians himself, he said I can have my sign up. If I get a buyer, I can sell it.
But you won't sell it to an Asian person?
If they come up with a buyer, yes. All they're interested about is just to put the sign up. That's all. I've had agents, I haven't knocked them back.
What would... Oh, no, agents. Do you know what your signs...
Agents, I'm sorry, well, that's a bad expression.
Is that what you say, no Asians?
No.
You say no agents.
Agents, sorry.
Agents, of course, being one of the minorities that anybody can slag off. That means there's just 2 more files to cover. Well, only one, really, because the other consists of sequences we're not allowed to show, such as the party political broadcast to which a disgruntled sound man added a laugh track, or the time they left the lens cap on Patrick Moore's telescope and he thought the universe had come to an end. Which leaves us with the last file, which is simply labelled H for haven't a clue. Because whether these items are spoof or genuine, we're still not sure. Our guess is they are for real, but see what you think.
The political news from west of the Pecos, from El Paso, Texas, and yesterday's primaries. There were 5 interesting candidates for various offices. Candidates 1 and 2 were just out of jail. Number 3 was in a psychiatric ward. Number 4 ran his campaign out of a saloon, and candidate number 5 was dead. Candidate 1 was out on $5,000 bail, charged with possessing cocaine. Number 2 was out on $5,000 bail, charged with theft. Number 3 was in for psychiatric observation after he threw 2 bowling balls to a neighbor's window. Number 4 was criticized for running his campaign from a saloon. Number 5 died after the ballots were printed and it was too late to remove his name. The deceased candidate did pretty well, but he lost. The only one of the 5 to survive the primaries was number 4, whose headquarters was in a saloon. Democracy is not dead in America.
The name of the game is Ball Buster. It's a family game, fun for children, and for adults it's exciting. You make strategic offensive and defensive moves, then try to bust your opponent's balls. It's as easy as checkers, but exacting like pool. Ball Buster, a great new game from Mego.
At the Great Sky's the Limit 83 Datsun introduction sale. We'll be open Saturday and Sunday till 6. We've got Stanzas on sale, Sentras on sale, Maximas on sale, 200 SXs on sale, 280Zs on sale, trucks on sale. And I'm coming down to earth on sky-high prices. I'll do anything to sell you a car. We've got down-to-earth deals now at Glenside Datsun Limited in beautiful downtown Glendale Heights. I think he means it.